What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I got a couple things that I want to talk about today, so I'm going to make two separate videos. The first one is going to be about further developments on the status of the NFL and how they plan to proceed, and the other one is going to be a topic that, you know, the casual fans or the regular fans or just most fans apparently who are still on board with the whole direction that the team is going will enjoy, because it's going to be a topic about Tua and whether or not he is going to play this season, or even if he could possibly even play at the beginning of the year. So let's get right into it. We're going to start though with this video is going to be about the updates to the status of the NFL. So there is a report out today. NFL coaches nearing return to facilities and mini camps possible for June, which I don't know if you guys know this, but that's next month. And as a matter of fact, we're literally just a few days away from it. Okay, so look, I mean, I'm going to be super fascinated because they are clearly trying to push as hard as they can to get the season open, and I'm going to be curious to see how they handle it, because they already admit that they expect to have cases of coronavirus. So I'm going to be curious to see how they handle it, and if there's an outbreak and if people end up dying, and then see what they do. I think it's a disaster, and I don't want to play with people's lives, but I don't have any choice over this. So the only thing that I can do is report to you based off of the facts and data and how they respond to all of these things, and give you the analysis that I can and what I think is going to happen. So let's get into this. NFL head coaches could return to team facilities as early as next week as states start opening up more amid the COVID-19 pandemic, according to Yahoo Sports' Charles Robinson. Real quick, New York and California, some of the more strict states that were, with the guidelines and the social distancing and the shutdowns and so on and so forth, are opening as well, which I personally think is stupid and foolish and way too early, and they're playing with people's lives, but it's all, of course, for the profit and for the money making, etc., because they care more about they care more about the market and making money and making sure that the economy is going than they do actually protecting people's lives amid a very deadly and contagious virus. So it is what it is. But like I said, I got to give you the facts and the data as they are, and nothing else. Robinson reported that mini camps could open as soon as June 15th if coaches are able to resume their usual work by next week. He added that much hinges on California Governor Gavin Newsom. If Newsom opens the way for full team operations without any fan attendance, the league could then give NFL franchises the option of holding a minicamp sometime in June before breaking once again and setting dates for the opening of training camps, Robinson wrote. Now again, I mentioned Gavin Newsom, or California. He is obviously the governor of California. Gavin Newsom is. And he's opened up for retail. He's opened up for hiking trails and stuff like that. And he is absolutely opening up our state. Now he has said that he doesn't expect there to be fans at stadiums. But, when you look at the totality of everything going on with other states saying, just come here, and with the fact that he is opening, which I believe, again, to be far too early. But to be fair, I'm no expert. I'm just going off of what a lot of the experts are saying. Anyway, it's trending in the direction to have mini camps, that they'll find a way to do it. And it's trending in the direction of having not just the season start, but with fans at stadiums. So we'll see, man. We'll have to wait and see. NFL teams have had to conduct their offseason business remotely in order to limit the spread of the coronavirus. While an obvious hurdle for players and coaches, it hasn't disrupted things too much yet. Free agency and the draft have unfolded with only minor difficulties for those involved. The offseason is beginning to reach a stage, though, where in-person communication will be required. Training camps are slated to open in mid-July, with the first week of preseason games kicking off August 13th. With states relaxing their coronavirus-related restrictions, NBA and MLB teams have allowed allowed teams to welcome back players to their facilities on a limited basis. By taking the same step relatively soon, the NFL might not suffer disruption to its 2020 calendar. Troy Vincent, the NFL's executive vice president of football operations, said last week the league is expecting to have its stadiums full for the upcoming season unless told otherwise by medical experts. And they say medical experts, but the data and the information comes from the politicians and the people who are running these states and so on and so forth. And if the best of the best are opening up their states, then I have absolutely no hope, especially when you have states like Florida that are just like, we're like, fuck it weeks ago, even though they have cases spiking. But you wouldn't know that because the media is not talking about it and because they are covering it up. But, you know, whatever, fuck it. Like, it's just, the information that they're going to go on, my point is that I believe the information that they will be using and listening to is going to be coming from the top, which is disastrous because the people at the top are either giving horribly, grossly, negligently misleading information or lying about it or just not talking about it at all. And so it's a disaster that's incoming from my perspective and a lot of the experts' perspectives. But I'm not being listened to as usual, and the experts are not being listened to as usual. So buckle up and brace for impact, especially if you guys, anybody that watches this that might be thinking about going to a Dolphins game this upcoming season, I would think about that, because I would think about it long and hard. Even if you go with masks, there are always going to be people who are just too ignorant, stupid, whatever, and they're not going to wear masks. They're not going to practice social distancing. I mean, it's hard enough to begin with. I mean, like I said, what about people going and they want to pack? I mean, anyway, look, it's just, I would think about it again if I was you, and I would consider not doing it because it's a disaster waiting to happen. And it's going to end up being bad. I hope not. I really do, because I do not want to see people suffer. I do not want to see them get sick or needlessly die for the profits of these billionaires and the corporation that is the NFL. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio reported Vincent's comments echoed the NFL's internal sentiment and that it believes circumstances will change sufficiently by September to allow both for games to proceed and for fans to attend them. So they expect the circumstances will change sufficiently. Well, it's already there because they are literally lying about the facts and the truth about all of this stuff. So they are literally manufacturing a situation in which the circumstances will have changed sufficiently, sufficiently by September. They are manufacturing that situation because they don't give a fuck. By the way, there was also comments from Stephen Ross, obviously team owner of the Dolphins, that he says he believes there will definitely be a season. Unquestionably, there will be a season. The only question left is whether or not there will be fans in the stadiums. But the Dolphins themselves are already planning for fans in the stadiums. They've already put out guidelines of things that they're going to do to practice social distancing, which again is going to be what if there are fans at the stadiums? Okay, what if it's a Dolphins Bills game or a Dolphins Patriots game or whatever, and what if fans get into a fight? What if that happens? Because people are irrational and because people get heated. Maybe they're having to tossing back a few beers while standing in lines at the concession stands or after standing in lines at the concession stands. And what if they get into a fight? And then what if it fucking, spreads around the stands a little bit because there's some room to fucking wiggle because they don't have it quite full. And then what if one of those people, there are just too many possible situations in which you could just have one person that has it and spread it to thousands of people packed into a fucking stadium because the greed of these motherfuckers. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And so, but this is what we have to deal with now. These are the kinds of things that we have to deal with in the world today because of the types of people that lead our world. And look, just real quick, I apologize to anybody who comes to this channel expecting to see Dolphins related things without politics. But unfortunately, and I've said this a million times, politics, whether you like it or not, affects every aspect of your life. And it is super relevant to this and to the Dolphins because due to politics, wrong, misleading information is being put out about a very contagious and deadly virus to the end in which they, or to the goal of starting the economy back up, getting people working, and making sure that the stock market doesn't fucking tank at the cost of human lives. And it's going to be, I mean, we've already got, near 100,000 official deaths in this country. I think it, based off of a lot of other information that I've seen, the numbers that I've been tracking since the very beginning, news reports, etc., I believe those numbers are probably twice that. But because of all of that political, the decisions made in politics, we now have to deal with this in football. And so, look, I'm sorry if people don't like that, but I'm not going to not talk about it. I'm not going to choose to ignore that and talk about, oh man, what, I don't know, dude, like, what the fuck, the depth chart at fucking whatever, tight end or whatever. Because, look, man, I mean, at the end of the day, we could eventually be having conversations where the depth chart changes, not just because guys are having to sit out because they're sick because of coronavirus, but we may end up having to fucking have conversations about our players or coaches dying to this motherfucker, and that's why things have changed. Like, it's gross and despicable, and like I said, I'm sorry if you guys, for anybody who doesn't like it, but I refuse to not talk about it. I refuse to cover it up. I refuse to lie about it. I refuse to ignore it. So, and it is massively relevant and massively important to the Dolphins and to the upcoming season and to the health and safety of the players, the coaches, the staff, the fans, all of that. And I'm sorry if people don't like it, but I have to speak truth to power, and that's what I'm going to do here. My next video is going to be a little bit more, football related, talking about Tua, but I have to talk about this stuff because it is massively important. Anyway, though, with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you do enjoy my perspectives. I mean, at least appreciate my perspectives and the fact that I'm just going to give you guys the flat-out truth and talk about the most important and most relevant things and not talk about sugar-coated, flowery bullshit and ignore the fucking deadly virus that could potentially kill thousands of fucking more people, including players, coaches, staff, referees, fucking fans, whatever, dude. So anyway, I hope you guys appreciate it. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. And of course, as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.